So earlier today, Israel launched a targeted airstrike in Doha, Qatar, hitting residential buildings housing senior Hamas leaders engaged in U.S. backed ceasefire talks. This is the first Israeli operation on Qatari soil, and it escalated the nearly 2 year Israel Hamas conflict that was sparked by the October 7th, 2023 attacks. Israel called it a precise strike against Hamas figures who were accused of directing those attacks. The operation hit a compound under Qatar's Emery Guard protection, causing explosion, smoke, and casualties. Hamas reported 5 lower-ranking members were killed, including the son of chief negotiator Khalil al-Hayya, who he himself survived. Qatar's Interior Ministry confirmed the death of Corporal Badr Saad Mohammed al-Humadi al-Dasari and injuries to other Qataris, which means this technically is a potential act of war. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu declared no immunity for Hamas leaders, which essentially means they're willing to attack them anywhere in the world, with Israeli Defense Forces and Israeli security forces known as Shin Bet framing the strike as part of dismantling Hamas's command structure. The timing disrupted ceasefire negotiations that the U.S. is a part of. Qatar condemned the strike as a blatant violation of its sovereignty, launching a high-level investigation. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres called it a flagrant violation, while Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, and Turkey denounced it, with Turkey's President Erdogan warning of regional instability and pledging support for Qatar. France, Germany, and the UK criticized the strike, citing risks to hostage talks. The U.S. and Trump were notified in advance, and he directed his envoy Steve Witkoff to warn Qatar, but Qatar claimed the notice arrived right as the blasts were taking place. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt called the strike unfortunate, stressing Qatar's role as a U.S. ally hosting Al Udeid Air Base, and Trump expressed disappointment but saw, quote, an opportunity for peace, assuring Qatar that this would not happen again. Now, this strike yet again strains U.S.-Israel ties, with hostage families accusing Netanyahu of sabotaging deals. The U.S. may tie future arms or intelligence support to ceasefire progress to curb Israel's unilateral action, but Israel is rightfully calculating Trump probably will take no meaningful action. Strikes like these undermine peace efforts, though, which, let's be honest, Israel does not want peace at this point. Nonetheless, the war will come to an end eventually, and alienating mediators like Qatar and risking hostage deals is not smart. It breaches sovereignty, raises civilian harm concerns, violates armed conflict laws, damages U.S.-Qatar ties, and hands Hamas a propaganda win. It sets a precedent, endangering envoys and complicating future resolutions. Long-term, Israel is clearly prioritizing eliminating Hamas no matter the international cost, while the U.S. seeks stability and a broader diplomatic track. So without tighter coordination between the U.S. and Israel, the relations are going to erode. This is going to prompt conditional support, and ties are going to become cooler while the U.S. works to preserve Gulf alliances that are critical for countering Iran and stabilizing energy markets, especially when we want to try and counter Russia in that regard.